Let's turn now back to the presidential election, and that's where we have some new poll numbers looking at the key demographics this November, Latino voters. Vice President Harris does lead former President Trump by 14 points among Latino voters in a new poll from NBC News, CNBC, and Telemundo. While Harris' lead is an improvement from President Biden's standing when he was at the top of the ticket, it's also a lot smaller than the margin that Democrats have won Latinos by in past elections. According to historical NBC News exit poll data, Democrats' lead with Latinos has been shrinking since 2012. This new polling also shows just how politically diverse and divided Latino voters are. The results among Latinos mirror many of the trends we're seeing in the country at large, especially when it comes to gender. Harris has a 26-point lead among Latinas, while Harris and Trump are tied among Latino men. NBC News correspondent David Noreiga is talking to Latino voters in Clark County, Nevada, which is the main population center in that state. And Telemundo's senior Washington correspondent Cristina Londono is in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, a town with a growing Latino population. David, let's start with you. You're talking to Latino voters in Las Vegas. What are they telling you?
Yeah, Ryan, so I am specifically on Las Vegas's east side, which is the predominantly Latino part of the city. And I've been talking to voters here for a couple of days, and what I'm hearing really reflects that national polling in a couple of ways. First of all, this community is really torn between the parties and torn between the candidates in a way that they haven't been in several election cycles. You can see this community really going both ways. Additionally, the one thing that is pretty universally true when I talk to voters about what matters to them is that the first thing they mention is the cost of living and the economy. We were at a park very close to where I am now, talking to parents who were watching their kids play in a youth soccer league. That's where I met Griselda Martinez. She moved to Nevada from California about 20 years ago. She told me that she's about 60-40 leaning towards Trump, but that she is persuadable, and that if the Harris campaign reaches her and talks to her in a convincing way about the economy and the cost of living, they could still win her vote. I want to play you a little bit of what she told me. Take a listen.
I love what Donald Trump did for us as an economy while he was in presidency, and I don't know what she has to offer because she's new. So that's kind of like taking a chance on her, you know, so that's what I mean. But I do like how she is doing a lot of things for small businesses and how she has that idea for them. I do like that about her.
What are the most important issues for you?
Family income, you know, just the cost of living. I want to be able to support myself and my children and be able to do things, you know, and that's what's important to me. I know that there's a lot of bigger issues, but those issues don't affect me and my family and how I'm living right now.
Voters like Griselda, Ryan, are exactly why the campaigns, and particularly the Harris campaign, are spending tremendous amounts of money trying to find and reach these specific voters, this relatively narrow slice of this one demographic, particularly in southwestern swing states like Arizona and like here in Nevada. Ryan?
Okay, thank you for that, David. Let's go to you, Cristina. You're in Hazleton, Pennsylvania, which is just south of Wilkes-Barre in Luzerne County. It's a place that's been going through a bit of a shift in demographics and politics. So tell us why you're there.
Well, Ryan, it's part of the Latino belt in northeastern Pennsylvania. Here in Hazleton, the majority of the population is Latino. It was 5% 20 years ago, and now 63% of them are Latino, mostly Dominicans. And they're not, here the Democrats do not have the advantage. What we have spoken to people, they have told us most of them are planning on voting for Donald Trump. They voted for him. The majority of them did in the past two elections. He won by 3 points. 8 years ago, and then by 11.4 years ago, and we're still thinking that they may give him greater numbers come November. And also the divide is like David was talking about. It's depending on the issues. Those voters that are voting with their pocketbook are leaning towards Trump. The other ones that are voting with the heart, with democracy and values issues, say that they're on the side of Harris. And we also saw a divide in gender and religion. Let's take a listen. What are the issues that move you towards Trump and move you and your community towards Donald Trump?
Well, mainly is the transgender, and also the abortion right.
And you would say most of your community is choosing Donald Trump because of that?
Yes. The majority, yes.
What is it about Kamala Harris's values that entices you? Why are you with her?
I'm with Kamala Harris because she values what women value. She values women's rights. I feel that we have a safer place with her in terms of bodily autonomy, other reasons why as well.
Another big issue that is being debated here in the streets of Hazleton are Trump's growing attacks on some of the immigrants that are crossing the borders. On Saturday, he said, once again, some of them are animals and some of them, of the immigrant criminals, break into your kitchen and cut your throat. So the Democrat leaning voters are saying they cannot support a candidate like that. They're worried he's actually poisoning the feel of the country. They don't want that hatred moving forward for their kids and their grandchildren. But the Trump supporters are saying, I am not an animal. He's not talking about me. I am not a criminal. This is not directed at me. Very different reactions, Ryan, and we'll see what plays out November 5th.
Okay, Cristina, we know one thing is for sure. The Latino vote is going to be so important in this upcoming election. We appreciate that reporting.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.